Now, today, correct me if I'm wrong, Twitter has announced that Elon Musk is buying it. Am I right about this? Like, this is, like, it's not super finalized, but, like, it's been announced. He is buying Twitter. Yes, this is right. He is buying Twitter. And this has been something a lot of people have wanted. Now, what's going to happen in this case? I don't really know. Is this going to be a case of meet the old boss, same as the new boss? Meet the new boss, same as the old boss? I think it could be. Yeah, for sure. Are we going to have... I know he said he's not going to come back. But I don't believe him. I honestly think it will be so fucking funny the day that he gets unbanned. And you know who I'm talking about. That will be a day of reckoning. That will be a day of vengeance, of blood on the streets, of this man returning to the mortal realm. Oh, man. I don't... Headlines for weeks. Like, Return of the King. Oh, my God. It's so... And it's like... The fact that I know this is true is because all of you guys are saying... Like, everybody knows who I'm talking about. Everybody knows 100% who I'm talking about. Like, yeah. Like, the moment that he comes back, all bets are off. All bets are off. Like, you thought that things were bad now. You thought things were crazy now. You thought people lost their minds. Oh, you haven't seen anything yet. It's going to get a whole lot better. And so he's not coming back. That's what he says. That's what he says. I think he will. I think he will. I know he has a new platform, Truth Social, and look, this is the problem with like every platform that gets created, like whether it's Odyssey or BitChute or Truth Social or whatever one of these, Gab. They're basically just places for people that get banned on Twitter or YouTube to go and complain about Twitter and YouTube. Like, they don't have their own real identity other than being counter to the identity of the website that they were derived from. So, like, Truth Social isn't going to go anywhere. It's a stupid fucking name. Nobody cares about Truth Social. What about people that just want to talk about cars? Like, it doesn't appeal to them. Like, this is just simply for people that believe they're being, persecuted by Twitter or whatever. So it's a very stupid name. Trump's done a lot of stupid things. It's not a surprise recently. So I'm not going to get too far into that, but I think in general, whenever he gets unbanned, oh my God. And you know what's so funny to me? Is that you're going to hear all of these fucking commentators. You're going to hear all of these people, and they're going to say, oh, I really hope they don't unban him. I really hope they don't unban Trump. Please don't unban Trump. MSNBC, CNN, these people, these different, like really popular, like liberal people on Twitter. No. They are secretly thinking to themselves, please unban him. Please unban him. My impressions will never be higher if you unban him. Oh my God. Like, imagine like the amount of the news stories that they can run. Trump, like, that's it. Like, you don't even have to write the news anymore. Trump does it for you. And it doesn't matter he's not president anymore. It's like you wake up, new tweet, it's in all caps lock, it's about Ukraine and saying Putin is, just like George Washington, boom, there it is. Headline, done. You can go back to bed. You don't have to work about reporting. You don't have to try to come up with a compelling story. You don't have to do any of this. All you have to do is take his tweet and say, like, wow, can you believe what he said today? And then everybody else in your audience is like, I can't believe what he said today. That's awful. Oh, God damn. I'm going to tune in tomorrow to see what he says then. This is just making me so mad I can't stop looking at it. So this is the best thing that could happen for like the very left wing and like progressive media is for Trump to get unbanned. I'm not even kidding you. They will never run out of content. There will be like it's the best thing that they can possibly have happen to them is for Trump to get fucking unbanned. Yeah, that's what it is. They want him unbanned to get something to talk about. Exactly. Yes. And a good meme game you get elected to. Yeah, sure. And left wing media. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. It's like, don't you think the right-wing media is upset that Obama isn't saying a bunch of stuff anymore? It sucks. Look, Obama has stopped being president, and he pretty much just fucked off. He takes pictures with his family, and, every once in a while he supports something that's, like, really kind of hard to say that it's bad. That's awful. Like, yeah, he hardly does anything. Like, no, he didn't. He pretty much did. Like, I mean, compared to Trump, holy shit. Bro, Like, that's what it is. Like, yeah, Obama controls Biden. Yeah, sure, he's Netflix now. Yeah, what I'm saying is that, like, of course the right-wing media love Obama. Because, like, the guy's black, and so there's a lot of people that are fucking racist that watch that shit, and so they're waiting to see what this guy did bad because they don't like black people. And then there's other people that don't like his policies, and they don't like that either. And so you've got all these people that are clamoring to find out what the next bad thing that Obama does, but he posts a picture of his family, and it's like, well, fuck. Now what? Now what? Like, what's this? Like, they can't, there's nothing you can do. Yeah, okay, birth certificate, huh? Yeah, where's that birth certificate, huh, Barry? Yeah, true, I get it, right? I understand. But, like, what I'm saying is these people don't really have a lot of, they don't have a lot to go off of. And cries about global warming, buys a huge house on the beach. Yeah, of course. Of course he's going to do that. Like, I don't know. Like, don't ever expect people to be consistent. If you expect people to be consistent in their beliefs versus their actions, all you're doing is just making yourself mad. You're not doing yourself any favors. You're not helping yourself. You're not, you're not calling anything out. Like, you're just making yourself mad. There's no reason to try to expect that. Let's see here. Can't buy a house on the beach now. It doesn't matter. I don't want to talk about it. You're super consistent, though? Well, I am consistent. I am extremely consistent. Because it's like a pyramid of values. And it's like all of the other values are down here. And then the very top of the pyramid is, does this benefit me? And if it does, then I do it. And I never betray that value. I never do. Think about it. That's a value I never betray. So I'm very consistent. It's just the values have a tier system. That's all there is to it. Yeah, and then right under, is this beneficial to me? Is this content? Right? So, like, if something's content, then who cares? It's content. Let's think about what matters. Why do you sound like Kiri and Owls today? Because I'm outside and there's birds. So yeah, people are very upset. There are some people who are very upset about Elon Musk buying Twitter. They said, I can't believe people are okay with this for the billionaire to have a billionaire to just have control over Twitter. I wonder who they thought were running it before then. Like, what do you think it was? What do you think it was, like a co-op in Portland, Oregon that grows their own green, like green peppers? Do you think they were running Twitter? They run a feminist bookshop, and then they also run Twitter on the side? No, it's just a bunch of fucking billionaires already. It's just a different billionaire. Yeah, that's all there is to it. So the way that I look at it is this. I'm glad Elon Musk is buying Twitter. I think Twitter's been a cesspool. I think that there needs to be more accountability. Twitter has become more and more powerful over the years. Every company has a Twitter. Every politician has a Twitter. Everybody has a Twitter. Twitter is a massive fucking thing. I've said this before. I know it's going to make people mad. I don't care. I think the government should regulate social media. I don't trust Elon Musk entirely. I don't trust Bill Gates. I don't trust Jack Dorsey. I don't trust Mark Zuckerberg. I don't trust any of them. And you know why? It's because they're not accountable to anyone. If they fuck up or they do something wrong, it doesn't really fucking matter. There's no one that's going to, hold them accountable to this at all. Government, however, you do have a vote on this. I've said this many times. Government got rid of slavery 150 years ago. Private companies do it now. So you can't really do anything whenever a private company does something bad. You have no recourse. And fact is that these countries, other countries besides America, they have ownership in Twitter. There are people that are, foreign people that have ownership in Twitter. Well, how do you think this is a good thing for the United States here to have Twitter that has ownership, that Twitter that helps decide elections and is impactful in elections, owned by people in other countries? I don't think so. Yeah, I certainly fucking don't think so. So I think this is a very dangerous thing. I think Twitter is extremely dangerous, and I think that basically people are looking at Elon Musk as kind of, it's like, what's an example of this? Twitter's international though? Yeah, but it's an American company. And it's like, if you can take advantage of something, you should. I'm trying to think of like a good way to put this. They trust him to handle the burden of that accountability and that line more than they trust the current Twitter. I think this is probably true. I think people get banned and they get removed without really much of a reason, especially for political speech. I think that we can all pretty much agree that speech that incites violence or civil unrest is harder to really quantify, but especially speech that is calling for violence is something that many of us don't support. I personally don't. But other than that, there's a lot of things like, oh, what is misinformation? Some things are misinformation that many people believe. And I think that it's dangerous to have a company that has really no oversight or accountability being the arbiters of what's true and what's not true, with no accountability to the government in a country where the government should have some control over what happens. So yeah, that's the way I see it. I think it's very important. Misinformation and censorship, pretty easy. Well, the thing is that everybody has a different idea of what misinformation is. Like people, you have to understand is we live in a post-truth society. It's a post-fact society. What people think is true is more important than what is true. So it doesn't really matter whether you think something is misinformation or not. What matters is whether the people that are in control allow you to say it. That's all there is to it. So whenever I see this kind of stuff, misinformation equals info liberals don't agree with, and there's a lot of people that believe that. And I think this is the fact. I think there are a lot of people that over the years are tired of being condescended to by what they consider to be, Hollywood elites, media elites, mainstream media, politicians that are popular with the media. They see this group of people, and they see these people who have this enormous amount of privilege and power constantly tell them that because of some circumstance of their birth, whether it's because they're a guy, white, or whatever, that somehow they feel like they're being attacked. People are just tired of seeing this. They're tired of seeing this, and so they just want to change. They are willing to elect the nuclear option. Elon Musk is absolutely not, that is not a flawless person. He's just simply a person. And so is he going to make all the right decisions? I would pretty much expect not, because he's one guy. Mistakes are going to happen, absolutely. But people are just so fucking tired of it. It's the same thing that happened with Donald Trump. Donald Trump was in no way, shape, or form an ideal candidate, but people voted for him because they didn't like Hillary Clinton. That's the reason. And I think there are a lot of people that felt that way. They don't like being talked down to. They don't like the way that their lifestyle is being perceived and, portrayed in media. They don't like this. And so it doesn't really matter to them what's good or what's not good. So I hear about like there's an expose on Elon Musk coming up. Let me just tell you something. If we find out that Elon Musk killed somebody and skinned them alive tomorrow, he would lose no support. Whenever Trump said he could shoot somebody in Times Square and get away with it, he was right. The reason why he stopped being able to get away with it is because he started losing. If you want people to like you, win. If you want people to hate you and resent you, lose. It's that simple. That's crazy. Watch it happen. Everybody knows Bill Clinton probably got people killed back in the day. People love Bill Clinton. He's great. Doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter at all. No, they don't. A lot of people do, and they don't care. They don't care. It doesn't matter to them at all. It's completely irrelevant. Who loves any Clinton? I think there's a lot of people that are 35 and up that if Bill Clinton ran for president again, they'd vote for him. Like, Bill, that was the good days, right? Back in the 90s, get your dick sucked. What's wrong with that? Yeah. I think he'd probably win, to be honest with you. So, yeah, I mean, this is, I love Bill Clinton as president. Yeah, a lot of people like him. And as I said, people think that this is not true. They think, oh, no, that's not what's going to happen. I guarantee you it will. I guarantee you that's what's going to happen. And so this is, I don't think people really care about Elon Musk's character that much. I don't think they really care about anything else. All they care about is they see a group of people that they resent getting fucked. And they're happy about this. They don't care about the morality of it. They don't care about the justice of it. And if anything, they want it to be unfair. They want it to be immoral. because it makes them feel good viscerally. So that's what's going to happen. I think, and this is why, like, all of the news sources, and by the way, I don't want anybody to think that, this is only a small group of people. No, it's the majority of people. It's the actual majority of people think like this. I think it's a very high majority, like 70-80% of people think like this. And now some people think like this on the opposite direction, but they still think like this. Yeah, that's true. Like I said, yeah, exactly. And so people, they don't care about what Elon Musk said. They don't care. There's nothing that it doesn't matter. Like, it just simply doesn't matter to them. It's just like Trump. And so this is what's going to happen. 80% of people don't know jack. Well, I think that they do know. They just don't care. It's just not as important to them as how things make them feel. And that's what matters more than anything else. Financing for the deal, maybe liquidating, great deal with Tesla stock, margin call. I don't know what the details are. Yeah, I'm not sure. But anyway, and Elon talks about how he harassed someone and the comments are full of compliments. Yeah, if Elon, yeah, exactly. People don't care because they want him to harass the people that they don't like. How do you think we got public executions? It's because people wanted to see those guys get killed. They wanted to watch it. They used to bring their kids. Yeah, they used to bring their kids to public executions back in the day. What do you think? All these people are just gone? You think that, oh wow, we're better than this now? No. No, I don't think so at all. I'm very excited to see what's going to happen. I think it's going to be a lot of great content. I really do. I think it's going to be some incredibly great content. So we'll see how this goes, and I hope it goes well. I mean, I like Twitter a lot. I use Twitter all the time. I spend at least 3 hours a day probably on Twitter. So it's in my best interest that Elon Musk makes Twitter good. And I think it's funny to see people that had a previous hegemony over the transmission of information losing that hegemony and then losing their minds about it. I think that's funny. And so we'll see what happens. So yeah, I think it's going to be great. I do. I think it's going to be great. And if Twitter gets ruined and it's a huge fucking flaming ball of fire and everything is destroyed, that's nice. It's whatever. We had fun. It was fun, at least. That's good. But I don't think that really that's going to happen. I think like any of these negative articles about Elon Musk, like if you look at any of them, almost every single one of them is like ratioed, like massively fucking ratioed. Because people just are simply, they are just simply not interested in hearing the mainstream media's opinion about stuff anymore. They simply do not care. They don't trust the mainstream media, whether it's CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, that it just, they don't want to hear it. Yep, just get them out of here. That's all there is to it. And I think this is also true on the left. I remember, didn't BLM almost burn down an entire CNN building? I remember they went and they broke out all the windows in front of it. So I think people all over the political spectrum are just fucking tired of this shit. And they're tired of being talked down to by mainstream media. They're tired of having elites. I think in this case, liberal elites tell them that it's not a big deal and paying $60 or $100 for a tank of gas is a sacrifice they're willing to make while they're making a video about this in their penthouse that's worth $5 million. Meanwhile, some guy who has to drive to work at 4:30 in the morning can barely even afford it as it is. People are just fucking tired of it. And I think this is why they're happy about Elon Musk. They look at him as, in some degrees, an executioner. And I think people are really, really excited. That's what I think. He's firing the entire board. And people will be so happy, they'll be thrilled, they'll be overjoyed. Will he execute though? Well, if anybody will, it'll be him. Asmon's full MAGA, cool. No, not really. I voted for Trump the first time. I didn't vote the second time. He didn't do what I thought he would do. He acted like a clown. He fucked too many things up and he made a fool of himself. I gave him a chance. He fucked it up. I wasn't happy. That's all there is to it. I didn't vote at all in 2020. I didn't vote for Biden either. Yeah, I would have thought, yeah, I've said that many times. Our economy was good though. I view the economy as an echo effect. So like something that people do in the economy will have like a ripple effect like years down the line. It's the same as like Obama got blamed for a lot of like Bush's failures in the economy because they happened in Obama's years technically. I would not say all of Trump's success in the economy was because of Trump. Did Corona fuck him for a second term? Yeah, I think so. I think if Corona didn't happen, he'd still be president. Trump's policies were a cause of the good economy. The economy was already going up before Trump was president. I'm not going to argue about this. I'm just going to say that I felt like there were a lot of things. Like, I expected, here's one of the big things. I expected Trump to regulate social media. Because Trump uniquely understands media better than almost anybody else in the whole world. And he should have known, and he didn't. Fuck him. He should have known. He should have known this. He tried? Oh, he tried. Fuck you. I don't want to have somebody who tries. I want to have somebody who gets it done. Obama tried to get the troops out of Iraq. He tried. I don't give a fuck about trying. You either get it done or you don't. Participation medal. Yeah, he tried, guys. He tried. Nothing he does, being blocked by Senate. I think that if somebody else was in charge that was less ego-driven and more methodical and tactical with what they were doing, they would have been more successful than Trump was. And I think that it was something that made everybody look bad over the years. I feel like if you would put, I can't really think of like who would you say would be in charge. I think if FDR was there, FDR would have made it happen. I'll tell you that. Yeah, he would have made that shit happen for sure. It wouldn't have mattered what other people thought. So yeah, JFK, they shot him, so that didn't work. Let's see here. Problem is, when I vote like that, I don't want to talk about a whole lot of presidents and stuff like this, like politics. Who gives a fuck? All I'm really saying here is that I think that a lot of people are tired of bullshit like this. They're tired of it, and they're looking for a replacement to this kind of behavior. And this is going to become more and more the case over the years. And I think this is a good thing. I do. I think it's a very good thing, and hopefully it will continue. People should not be okay with how things are. I don't like how things are at all. And that's about it. I like seeing things get shaken up. I think that the longer you have power like this without accountability, the more it turns into tyranny. Don't mess with Twitter free speech place. He needs to make it open source. If he doesn't, he's lying. I don't know. People will create reasons for that. Yeah, for sure. Russell Brand is killing it lately. I see his YouTube videos are doing pretty well, yeah. I used to watch The Trues about 10 years ago. Open source is buzzword. What does that even mean? I don't know. People want confirmation bias? Yeah, of course they do. Of course, absolutely. So yeah, that's generally how I feel about the Twitter stuff. I think this is a good thing. I'm glad things are being shaken up. That's all it really comes down to. Let's read a few comments here. What do you think about streamers showing the Depp trials? I've seen some big ones doing it today. I was surprised that it was even televised to begin with. I think it's something that everybody wants to see because they don't like Amber Heard, and I think that a lot of guys, especially, it's very cathartic for them to see somebody like Johnny Depp, a man who really, is a man with his own problems and his own demons, but not an evil, abusive, bad person, be exonerated for these actions and false accusations. Because I think a lot of men either have been in this situation or know somebody in this situation. That's my case. Like, for example, like my dad, there was one time, this was like back in like the 50s or the 60s, this girl and like this black guy were like getting it on like out in the woods somewhere, and like the police came, and then the girl said that like he raped her, and then my dad was like, that's not what happened, right? Like, because he saw what happened, and straight up, they would have killed that guy. They would, because this is like Florida back in the 1960s, right? So pretty much like the 1860s, and so they would have killed that guy if it wasn't for my dad being there, because they just automatically take their word for it. Like, as I said, man, this girl beat the shit out of my friend Jeff. It was his ex-wife, and she beat the shit out of him at a club. Cops show up, Jeff ends up in the car. I think there's a lot of guys that watch the Johnny Depp trial, and they see what they've wanted to see for a long time, and that's justice. So that's why. It's still coming in today's Florida. That's spoken like somebody who's 19 and got raised on the internet. Yeah. You have no idea how bad it was. My dad has told me about it a lot. And even I have no idea. But at least I know that I have no idea. It's an internet take? Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think that's why a lot of guys, that's why the content's so popular. I was watching like XQC was streaming it. I think Hassan looked at it a bit. And I think a lot of people are really happy to see this, especially guys. And I think it's also women, because it's like what happens is like every woman that's like actually abused, because this is what happens. Like this isn't like a one-way street, by the way. Like there are a lot of women who get abused and then they have, you know, the cops just disregard them. You know, like this guy beats the shit out of him and then he's laughing and talking with the cops and then the cops let him off with like a warning. Like this has happened before. I've heard of this. And so like this is not, and like the thing is like with these women, like a person like Amber Heard, actually does more harm to them than any man ever could, because what she's doing is she is devaluing and shedding a shroud of questioning on what they're doing, and so it makes them less credible. You see what I'm saying? Shitting? Yeah, literally shitting, exactly. Yeah, it's a deniability, discrediting. Well, she's discrediting, like, I think that many people, this is like, the same as like they're happy about Johnny Depp, right? Because it's a guy. She's discrediting women entirely, right? And she makes people take it less seriously in general, because from now on, you're going to have guys that are there's going to be a girl that gets abused and it's legitimate, and they're going to say, well, I don't know, was this a real situation or is it like one of those Johnny Depp things? That is 100% going to happen. And that's why I think a lot of women fucking hate her too. And they should. I think women should hate her a lot more than men do. Because men stand to lose, but women stand to lose equally more. Equally or more. Yeah, it's really bad. Was allegations made against somebody are forever guilty? Yeah, I know. It was during the Believe All Women phase too. Yeah, and I think that's a bad way to look at things. I think you can believe what people are saying without necessarily assuming that it's true. I think, like, for example, if somebody comes up with an accusation, it should be taken seriously, but it shouldn't be taken as truth, if that makes sense. I'm a woman and I hate her? Yeah, of course, right? Because a lot of women have, like, had to deal... It's really kind of scary whenever you think about, like, how many women have had to deal with, you know, abusive or crazy boyfriends or, you know, like, stalkers or something like this. If you don't believe me, like, go talk to, like, you know, 5 girls in WoW. I feel like at least one of them will have had an experience like this, if not more. It's so common, it's scary. So women see this person, this, you know, Amber Heard, and they're looking at this person with like all the privilege in the world, ruining a guy's life, and then subsequently devaluing and delegitimizing, in the eyes of the public, all women and all women's concerns. So yeah, I think this is a huge thing. It really is, and that's why so many people are paying attention to it. Should we take slander in these cases more seriously? It's tough. I think you should countersue her, yeah, for sure. But it's very hard to it's very hard to prove that. I think in Johnny Depp's case it is easier because he lost roles because of it. But in many regards, it's not as easy. Especially whenever you consider like at-will employment and, you know, a lot of other protections that employers have in certain countries. Or sorry, states here in the United States. What if he loses though? Well, it won't really matter. People have already decided that Johnny Depp is right. Don't ever get married ever. I don't believe that. I think marriage is good. Yeah, I'm a fan of marriage. Marriage is good. It's a pro-marriage stream. Boomer take. Glad to have it. Good if you're a woman, yes. I disagree. The thing is, like, if you get married to a guy and you're 23 and you have like 2 or 3 kids with him, and then you get divorced, and let's say you don't get half of his stuff, that you probably had to leave your job to like have these kids and take care of these kids, your prospects of being able to you've been out of the workforce for years, your you know, sexual attraction is lower because you're older, and this is just the truth. Let's just be honest here. And you also have kids that are going to make people even less likely to want to date you. So I think if you're a guy, you know, you want to have a woman take that level of a chance on you and bet her future on you, you can afford to bet half your stuff on her too. I think that's fair. And most importantly, I think marriage is best for kids. And that's what really matters. I think there are exceptions though, of course. But that's just my general feeling on it. That's a terrible take, strange take. Yeah, sure. Sure, think whatever you want. I mean, then just don't get married, right? I mean, do whatever you want. That's how I see it. Weird champ take. Well, I mean, I think the amount of people that say weird champ take and bad take, if they really felt that way, they would, they really thought that was true. They'd give me an argument instead of saying that. But they're not, because they're just stupid and they don't know what they're talking about. Saying things like weird champ and bad take, you probably don't need to worry about getting married. True. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fucking fact. So, that's about it. That's about all I've got. I wanted to make a video, talk about this stuff, and go over it all. But yeah, I think that's pretty much where we stand. Diablo Immortal, Twitter. I'll probably talk about the Blizzard earnings call tomorrow morning and go from there. But yeah, we had a good time today. We had a lot of fun. So thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate it. And looks like I'm not getting rained on anymore, so I'm going to go inside and just chill out, jerk off, and probably make a steak in a little while. All right, boys. See you tomorrow. Peace.